What's up, Brew Crew? Opie here. Welcome back to my Brew City Garden. So we're getting into the end of the first week of June. So it's kind of getting late into planting time. And this year I want to try my hand at sweet corn. Now, normally here at the Brew City Garden, I do not grow sweet corn. One, because it takes up a lot of room. And two, it's because here in the Midwest, sweet corn is extremely prolific. It's everywhere. There's roadside stands all over the place. Every farmer's market has sweet corn. So it's kind of monotonous for me to grow it. However, it just kind of dawned on me that I don't know a lot about sweet corn. And I just don't have a lot of experience with it. And I've got a little bit of extra space this year in the back garden. And I thought, well, what the hell? Let's give it a try. And what makes this a little bit unique is the fact that the majority of this back garden is built on used straw from my straw bale garden over the years. When the bales are done for the year, I'll bring them back here and dump them. And so far, everything that I've ever planted back here has just done phenomenal. Now, what I'm growing this year, since it's so late, is a Honey Select Triple Sweet Hybrid. And I know these you organic guys out there's heads are gonna pop, but you know, if I want to get a harvest this year, I don't have a choice. I have to grow a hybrid because it's so late in the season now. And our spring was so cold. We had snow in May. That this is the soonest. Literally, the ground is just now warm enough for me to plant corn. So I'm already behind the times. Now this Honey Select Triple Sweet Hybrid is a 79-day corn. So this is really one of my only chances at getting a harvest this year. As you can see, I've got 150 seeds here. Hopefully I can get 80% of those to germinate. If that's the case, we'll be in good shape. You might notice that the seeds are actually red. That's because they come coated with a fungicide and also an insecticide. So again, definitely not organic. However, I am not, and I don't claim to be an organic gardener. I'm a clean gardener, not an organic gardener. But I figured we would give these a whirl this year and see what kind of luck we get. So I went ahead and soaked this corn in some purified drinking water just overnight. And that's going to help rehydrate the seed and just kind of kickstart our germination. Like I said, you know, I'm really late getting any corn in this year, just weather-wise. You know, I really didn't have much of a choice. So the quicker I can get this stuff to germinate, the better off we're going to be, and more likely we'll have success. Now, over the last couple of weeks, I have come through and I have dressed this bed with the high nitrogen fertilizer, and I came back a few days later and dressed it down with an all-purpose balanced fertilizer. This bed is typically very fertile to begin with, so with that extra fertilizer, that's really going to help us out. Now, corn is a huge nitrogen hog. It absolutely requires a ton of nitrogen to get some decent plant development, and it takes that nice, big, thick, full plant development to get those reproductive parts to develop properly, where you can end up getting some very nice ears of corn. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump that water out. Try not to lose my seed here. And I can already feel those seeds are somewhat hydrated now, so that's good. That worked out well. So what I want to do is I'm just using this stick here just to help me keep my rows straight. And I'm just gonna make a little furrow. So I'm spacing my seeds approximately 5 inches apart in the furrow or in the row. And as you can see, I'm spacing my rows approximately 12 inches apart. Now, one very important thing that you need to know or remember about sowing corn is it has to be sown and grown in blocks. And what I mean by that is you can't just grow a single row of corn. Corn is wind pollinated. So if you grow just a single row, you'll have very poor pollination and you'll end up with ears of corn that are very patchy and really they're not full. You may get, no pollination whatsoever. So it's very important. Even if you're growing container corn, you need to grow several in a clump right next to each other in order to get the pollination and to get the filled out ears of corn that you're looking for. So we're going about 5 inches here between seeds, 12 inches between rows, and assuming that we get a good germination rate of say 80% or better, we should not have any issues with pollination, and we should get some very nicely developed ears of corn. Now I'll come back later and show you when the tassels develop and when the ears begin to develop, and you'll see where the silks start to emerge from the ear. That is where the pollen from the tassel lands, and each one of those silks, those little hair-like structures, leads inside the ear and actually leads to a kernel of corn. So if you have patchy corn, that means some of those silks were not pollinated. We'll go through all that when the time comes, hopefully. Okay, well, we've got everything sown into the ground. I ended up with 6 rows. The seeds are spaced approximately 4 to 5 inches apart, and rows are 8 to 12 inches apart. So this is a very nice block that, assuming we get a decent germination rate, we should end up with a very nice harvest of sweet corn come late summer. At least that sure is the hope. So I'm just going to come back in and cover these seeds. Nice and lightly. Again, I got high hopes. Fingers crossed we get some decent germination. The weather is warm now. Hopefully we'll stay so, and we'll be in good shape. All right, guys. Hey, thanks again for joining me here today at the Brew City Garden as we get the corn sown into the back garden. Fingers crossed, say a little prayer, do a little dance. Hopefully we get some decent germination and we get some sweet corn this summer. And if it doesn't work out, I'm going to keep playing with this a little bit. Maybe I'll do some container corn or something like that, but I really want to see how this goes first. And hopefully this particular triple sweet corn is good as what they say, and as early as what they say. 79 days, that's pretty good for sweet corn. So with any luck, that's what we'll get. And by the end of August, we will be throwing this stuff on the grill and enjoying it. But again, as I said, when this comes up and is about 6 inches tall or so, I will come back through with some more high nitrogen fertilizer, and I'll just keep hitting it with nitrogen through the season up until we start seeing tassels. And hopefully that'll be a good strategy. And I'm going to keep doing some research on there. If you've got any sweet corn tips for me, please leave them in the comments below. Because like I said, I'm really kind of new to the sweet corn deal. And also, if you are growing sweet corn, let me know what varieties that you recommend down below, heirloom and hybrids. I'm really interested in both and seeing which might work best for my climate here in Milwaukee. With that being said, I got other stuff to do out here in the garden, so I'll see you later. Have an awesome day, and until next time, we'll see ya.